Recording started.
Trying to make my head the same size as your head.
It's impossible. I have a giant cranium.
I think that'll work.
It's fine.
Welcome to the Score Report, everybody. You'll notice that Alan and I are wearing
Yes, we're matching.
our yellows.
Mine
Yellow
hasn't
squirrel
shown
t-shirts.
up
I will.
Yeah.
Demo.
yet. It's like
I'm not going
Ninja
to demo
Squirrel.
because I just spilled water all over my shirt.
It's the rampant squirrel.
The unapologetic squirrel.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's the I'll fight you squirrel.
Yeah.
It is the I'll fight you squirrel. It's the don't tread on me squirrel.
Ah.
That one right there.
Yeah.
I'll fight you.
Yeah.
Which way is mine?
Yeah, I know. There we are.
That one right there.
That's the I'll fight you squirrel.
What?
You.
I don't even know what you're talking
That's
about.
practically your catchphrase. I'll fight you.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a mild-mannered librarian. I don't know what you're talking about.
That is my least favorite thing to do.
Hey, I know all about librarians. I saw the Gunpowder Milkshake movie. I know your secret's out.
Oh my God, that movie. Everybody should watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
Highly
Librarians.
recommended. Yeah. Librarians with guns. It
And it has
was fun.
Cersei Lannister. So
Yes.
Yeah, it
And
does.
Amy Pond.
Yep.
And
Cersei
other
Lannister,
geek
who's
people
also Mrs. Leonidas.
Oh, yes. What would a free man do?
That's right.
There
Kids,
you
go back and watch the movie. If you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
she will show you what a free man will do. Anyway, welcome to the Score Report again.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to mention about this shirt, because it's like not an expensive shirt as far as like shirts you can buy off, like merch shirts
Right.
on the internet.
Right. That's because we don't make
However-
any money off of it.
No, we don't. But like, it is so soft.
It is.
Ah.
It is so soft. Like,
And
you know, you get a merch shirt and it's all kind of like rough and t-shirty. This is so soft.
I already have some cat claw marks in mine. So
Well, of course.
as one does.
Anyway,
Yeah, they're cool shirts. I actually ordered a second one
Yeah.
because I like it. And,
Okay.
Second one to
We're-
put away until the first one's all used up.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm contemplating doing that with my freezer.
Buy a second freezer.
Buying a second freezer.
second
because
freezer.
It's the one we have is I don't know, about 15 years old, and I'm like, it's going to die any minute now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'd rather
Spectacularly.
have one in the box in the basement ready to roll.
That's a good idea.
You know, I'm like,
Well,
Yeah,
especially if you can get one now.
the local warehouse store has. I mean, they're smaller. It's not at, like the full size, but it's still reasonably good size stand up freezer for like $200. And I'm like, man, that's a cheap hedge. And just kind of you know put it off in a corner and don't think about it. And because I check my basement several times a day because
Just in case.
because I've had floods and I've had stuff die.
Oh boy.
It's
You know, you
just
can get
a
like
little-
alarms and stuff for that.
Yeah, I know, but alarms
Yeah.
don't like. It's not the same as looking at it. So plus, I got to get in 10 sets of stairs a day. So
Yeah. Okay.
It's the crockpot theory of freezers.
that's right. That's exactly it. If left alone, they'll burn your house down.
Yeah. Or something, or the opposite of that, because it's a freezer.
Yes, exactly. Well,
But yes, we had a freezer fail, and thank you Jesus, it was like the night before we discovered it. The night before garbage day,
Oh, good.
and it was
yeah. See,
spectacular.
we had the outlet that the freezer was plugged into go bad.
Uh-oh.
So we're just like dum de dum de dum de. Why is there a Why is there a puddle on the floor? Why is it under the freezer? Why is the light not on? Fuck.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And so there was a bunch of meat that went bad, and then we got the.
That's one of the bad things about basements. Because shit can be going on down there, and you have no idea unless you check all the time.
That's why I check.
Yeah,
At least
you're right.
Every day, every other day. So
I put an audible alarm on my freezer outlet.
You also have a robotic vacuum.
It's a little box. I think it was like $10, but it's a little box, and it plugs in, and you plug it in to the outlet you want to monitor. And if it loses power, it's got a little battery in it. If it loses power, it is ear piercingly loud. I can hear it. It sits in the garage. I can hear it all the way in the house when it goes off. So you can hear when it loses power, because my freezer sits on a GFI circuit in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And you know how those things trip occasionally.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck.
Yep.
So I got that. So
I have a new drip. Whoa.
Is that good stuff?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Oh boy. Oh man, it's pretty tart. It's a hard cider, but it's blueberry lemonade.
Huh.
Blake's. Is that a local?
I don't think so. But it's like, it's kind of like one of those craft hard cider, blah, blah. But they have a bunch of different flavors. This one is very tart.
It's very
unexpectedly tart. Anyway.
All right, then.
So speaking of tarts, Kamala Harris is nowhere to be seen.
Did she get the COVID? Is she hiding?
The rumor is.
I think she got the coof from the Texas Democrats that flew up in a maskless plane. For just proving that karma is an absolute stone cold bitch.
When it works, it is glorious.
Yes. It's just too funny. It's and maybe she does, and maybe it's just coincidence. And
let's examine, since you talked about karma. Let's examine this whole string of events. So the okay. Texas is trying to pass some election reforms, and it's not we're trying to keep people from being able to vote election reforms like the Democrats and the media say. It's Texas already has voter ID. They're trying to pass some stuff about not having they want it's like not having polls open for like forever, and having to have your votes counted by the election day and shit like that. So apparently that's like the end of the world.
It's voter suppression.
Right.
They don't want minorities to vote.
So the Democrats have pulled this shit before in Texas. So Texas requires a quorum. You have to have I forget what it's like 3/4 of the people there, and the Democrats are the minority party. So any vote, the Republicans are going to do whatever the hell they want. But with the Democrats not physically present, they don't have a quorum. So that's how it works. So the Democrats fled the state.
Wait, did you say a quorum or decorum?
Ha. Yeah, decorum.
Decorum.
So they fled the state. Last time they fled the state to Oklahoma, and I think they sent the Texas Rangers to go round them up and bring them back in. But this time they got on a plane and they flew to DC. So in the first place,
plane.
Yes, private plane
funded by
private plane.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Funded by rich, from Beta. Anyway,
Beto's
so here's the thing.
Wife.
So first off, they're shirking on their jobs. They're getting paid for this, right?
Yes.
And they're shirking on their jobs. So somebody's introduced a bill to not pay them if they're not here. So they're shirking on their job. This is like you or me or anybody else just not showing up for work.
Not showing up, right?
The voters elected them and expect them to show up for work. So they're skipping out. They skipped out of town. The party of thou must wear a mask, whether you've been vaccinated or not,
Mm-hmm.
boarded a not just a commercial plane, but a very small private plane
Yes.
where they crammed them all in together. Not a single one of them wearing a mask.
They had a case of beer though.
Right.
Case
For
of
like
beer.
a 3-hour flight to DC. And then surprise, surprise, they start coming down with the COVID. Now, they had to have been exposed like right away because it's only been a few days since they've been in DC. So they exposed themselves on the plane to the COVID. That had to happen.
They were probably exposed before. One of them was exposed before they got
right,
on the plane.
but the plane was
Right.
probably where they got. So then they proceeded to go to DC and then spread it to everybody they met with,
Including what has been theorized, Vice President Harris.
right?
Well,
Which is why
did
she had-
pay a visit to the doctor.
Mhm.
Which
and the vice presidential residence has been dark, and
right,
there's all and it may be coincidence, it may be absolutely nothing, it may just be
Sure.
whatever, but it's just funny as all hell.
Which brings us to the point where YouTube's going to yank this video again.
Oh, God.
That's why we need to be on locals.
Dang
That's
it.
right. Well, it'll be
What
on
do we
Rumble
need, like
if they do.
12 more people or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like that. And
Sign up,
the
Doesn't
video will
cost
be
you
on
nothing.
the video will be on Rumble, and then people can listen to the podcast. But anyway, I just I'm not going to censor myself to make YouTube happy. If YouTube decides they want to pull the video, then that's fine. But here's the thing: so these are all Democrats who theoretically have been vaccinated.
Yes,
Right?
they have said they've all been vaccinated.
They
Yes.
claim to have been vaccinated, and yet here they are spreading the COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Name because they keep bringing this up. Well, you can still catch it if you've been vaccinated. Name me another virus other than the flu, because the flu works differently.
Mhm.
Name me another measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox, smallpox, anything like that, where if you've been vaccinated successfully,
Right.
you can still catch the disease.
Nobody's getting polio.
Nobody's getting polio. Nobody's getting
Or
smallpox.
smallpox.
Nobody's getting the measles that didn't get that got vaccinated. Nobody's getting the whooping cough that got vaccinated.
Well,
You
You also have to remember, Alan, you're taking a Democrat at their word.
that was my other point is
So-
how do we know these people actually got vaccinated? Because you know how famously anti-vax the Democrats are. Prior to COVID, the Democrats were the anti-vax party.
Jenny McCarthy was not celebrated by the Republicans.
Right.
Just going to say.
True. Yeah.
So
Because
who's to
there's mercury and this and that and the other thing and whatever. It's just
who's to
interesting.
say these people claiming they got vaccinated were actually vaccinated? How many of the people that were vaccinated and then came down with COVID were actually vaccinated? Do we even know? How would we know?
We wouldn't without getting their medical records, which would be a HIPAA violation.
Right.
Which is why the whole vaccine passport, it's like you're just begging for a massive lawsuit.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But then again, this administration has proved they don't give a fuck about the Bill of Rights.
No.
Because let's see, clearly they hate the Second Amendment
right.
and the Fourth Amendment.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
And the
And now
first.
they're pointing out what posts Facebook has to take down,
Right.
which would be a clear violation of the First Amendment, because it's no
Also-
longer a private entity taking posts down. It's the government telling a private entity to take posts down. Everything they accuse Donald Trump of, they're doing. They are fucking
Yeah.
fascists.
That's because that's what they do. And I was just going to say that, Jay.
Sorry,
Isn't
Al.
the government telling
We are so getting
private
this
industry what to
video
do?
pulled.
Isn't that fascism? I seem to remember.
Yeah.
That would be yes.
kind of textbook. It's kind of like exactly
Yeah.
what Stalin would do,
Yeah. Or, Hitler,
or Mao.
Mussolini,
The little red book that
All
they
the-
all love. Like who
all the
was it that had
socialists.
who was it that had the portrait of Chairman Mao in his living room? Recently, we had one. Some it was Democrat.
Yes, it was.
I don't remember.
Trying to blank. One of them.
One of
Anyway.
our listeners will.
I'm sure
point
it was
out.
more than one.
Somebody's yes, but it was very prominent.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's going to have the link within seconds of this being posted. They're going to be like, "Oh, it was so and so."
Yeah, I remember.
And it was Whitmer. Whitmer had the pillow of Fauci.
What?
Ew. A
Governor.
pillow?
Yeah, it was. I think it was
Like,
Whitmer.
did she kiss it at night when she
I
went
don't
to
know,
bed?
but she did. She
Oh,
did like
Dr.
a.
Fauci, I love you so much.
There was like a Zoom call or something where she had a pillow on her shelf
God.
behind her, and had Dr. Fauci's face on the pillow.
Was that Whitmer or was that? That sounds like Elizabeth Warren. That sounds like one of the
I
Chotskys.
thought it was. I thought
Doesn't
it was
matter.
Whitmer.
Although if it was,
There is a weird fangirling about Dr. Fauci, which I don't understand because, like, have you seen him? Like, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it was Whitmer in front of the Fauci pillow.
Which,
in her
since we're
backyard.
talking about Whitmer, let's talk about the plot to kidnap her. That was literally all FBI agents.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the thing back in the 60s where they used to go, and there was an element of truth to this. If you were in any kind of group and there was one guy that was agitating to go do something illegal, it was probably the FBI informant.
That's the Fed.
Yeah, that's the Fed. And they drag these poor guys in.
Yeah.
I don't know
I mean,
what they were.
they didn't even, they invented the entire scenario.
Right.
So
I mean, it wasn't like they happened upon a group of like extremists that
Right.
were having this kind of scenario going already.
right.
No, they invented the whole thing and then kind of lured people in, which in my mind is kind of like entrapment. No?
So
I'm not an
here's the
expert.
thing. So here's the thing. There was
Yes, Alan, what's
there
the
was
thing?
there were 14 men charged in this plot.
Yes.
In this group, there were 12 informants.
Welp.
So there were 26 people total, is what you're saying.
Something like that. But there were so many fucking informants.
Yeah.
And at one point, there's come out that one of the informants was in charge. One of the informants was the guy saying, "Hey, let's go do this."
Entrapment.
Yeah, it's like if you try hard enough, you can get a plot going.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
You know,
ridiculous.
Here,
And-
we're
Well,
going
here's
to
the
set it
thing.
up. We're
If-
going to arrange all the, the trucks and whatnot
Yeah.
and whatnot. And all you have to do is show up. And then everyone who shows
Yes.
up is, ooh, it's a big plot. Well,
Yes. Here's the thing. Okay. I would imagine that these informant people appeared to the dumb, slovenly nerds who like had their, like armchair warrior kind of thing going on. They probably seem like raw alpha males and we're going to follow them and blah, blah, blah,
Yep.
And so, I know, Tig, it's terrible.
that's right.
And
does
probably
not
like these FBI informants like seem kind of like the cool guys, and then they rounded up a whole bunch of not so cool guys that just kind of followed along and thought, wow, okay, I'm in it. Yeah.
That's it. We'll show them.
It just
So
yeah.
it's not going to fly.
So the
Although
case-
I say that, and they still have January 6th people in prison.
yeah.
Oh, Twitter
So
was.
wait. Before we go down that road,
Sorry.
let's finish this. Let's finish one thing.
Tig,
before
I
we go on.
know.
But this case is literally falling apart because in the first place, it comes out that they had 12 or maybe more informants. The
Okay.
lead prosecutor got reassigned to something else.
Mhm.
The lead FBI agent on the case was arrested and charged with domestic violence, assault.
Oops.
Right.
Top men.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, and also one of the lead informants is also up on unrelated charges, weapons charges, or something like that. He got arrested for something else, and so I mean, the whole
After becoming an informant,
something like that. So
Because-
I you know,
don't they
It's-
normally become informants because they've already fucked up?
well, also, and once you're an informant, you get a pass for doing all the illegal shit you have to do as an informant, right?
Whitey Bulger.
Right. You get, I mean, that's one of the perks of being an informant is you still get to do all the illegal shit because because you have to fit in with the group, right? The group's doing illegal shit. So you have to do your illegal shit too. And they can't, that's why when they come in and arrest them, they arrest everybody. And then,
Right.
after everybody gets hauled to the courthouse, they quietly let the informants out the side door.
It's a very nice Squirrel Report shirt. I can't wait for mine to get here. Darn it. Oh,
What?
I was complimenting your shirt. It's a very nice shirt.
Oh, it's a
Great shirt. It's a fantastic shirt.
You should all buy one. We don't make any money. Seriously.
No, we don't.
But they're cool.
But it's very soft. It's lovely.
That's right.
So
yeah.
one informant,
And
an Iraq war veteran, became so deeply enmeshed in the militia group that he rose to second in command, telling members of the group to meet with other potential suspects and even footing the bill to transport members to meetings. Another FBI informant advised the militia group on where they should plant explosives and offered more. I mean, it's just they were leading the thing.
This wasn't one dude who was just quiet and sitting in the back taking notes.
Right. They were active participants
This
in
was
charge.
A bunch of dudes pushing the whole thing. And yet when it broke, it was like, oh, look at these right-wing militias, blah, blah, blah. Look at the FBI agents who led a bunch of simpletons.
Yeah.
But then again, it could be worse. Could be like St. Louis, where they're letting murderers walk because, oops, the prosecutor just went out on maternity leave and we didn't assign anybody.
Oh, it gets worse than that, Jay.
This, by the way, is the same prosecutor that went after the McCloskeys.
Right.
That's the upscale couple that brandished weapons at the Antifa Black Lives Matter rioters who broke down the gate to their community and were standing outside their house hurling threats. Now, again, pointing weapons at people that's questionable, but it was not that they went out and threatened people's lives for no reason. They'd already, it's a lot like somebody kicks in your front door. Well,
except this was an actual murder case.
Yeah.
With an accused murderer.
Yeah, here's the drive-by shooting. You just pulled up, yelled and shot him dead.
Here's the thing that makes it weird is the prosecutor that didn't show up was out on maternity leave. And someone, she has resigned. And the story is that someone signed her name on 20 cases while she was out on maternity leave.
Oh, shit.
And so now,
So was that 20 people that were let go?
No. Well, we don't know.
Oh.
So, yeah, but you can just imagine the field day the defense attorneys are going to be having with this.
God, yeah.
They're
going to be clamoring for mistrials across the board.
Absolutely.
It's like, wait a minute, hold on. You've got this prosecutor who was out on maternity leave, and yet, the case against my client was allegedly signed by her during this time. So,
right.
Somebody done goofed.
So now apparently she's resigned.
That's the most interesting part is
That she resigned.
that somebody who screwed up in government actually resigned.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that she's the one that screwed up, because all this
If
happened.
she's allowing people to sign her signature.
Yeah, except
Yes,
she
she screwed
says
up.
she wasn't allowing it. It was done without her knowledge, is what she says.
Yeah. Then why did she
Sure.
resign?
I'm
Sure.
If you went
I'm
out on
just-
maternity leave and you've got it documented, which you should, there should be very clear documentation. There should also be a new human being she can produce. Hi, this is my kid.
Yeah.
And you would have put in for maternity leave. Wow, I can't speak. You clearly put in for it.
According to the story, she began her maternity leave on May 10th, but her electronic signature appears on more than 20 cases in court documents listing her as the lead prosecutor, even though she was not in the office and did not sign them herself.
Okay, so maybe she didn't properly secure her computer.
Some shenanigans are going on in the Soros bought and paid for St. Louis attorney's office.
Yep. Oops.
So,
Oops.
and,
But it's okay because, Joe Biden's putting his mask on over his entire face. Yep. Most votes in history, folks. Most votes in history. More than Barack Obama. Either time.
He's getting worse. Did you see the latest one?
Which one? The gobbledygook that he came up with?
The last one where he couldn't string two words together that made any sense.
Yeah, that was. We should read that out loud.
No mean tweets, though.
I don't know if I can. You read it out loud, Brita, because I don't think I can.
All right, let me find it. Hold on. It's shocking.
Could you
again? Remember, he is from the same party that mocked George Bush for mispronouncing nuclear.
Oh yes.
Could you tilt your camera down a little bit, Brita, so we can see?
So when you see my cat,
we want Tig.
Also, no, we still want to see your face, but we want to see the cat too. All right, there you go.
I'm trying to keep him quiet.
If you're not watching this in the video, you're missing out.
Missing out quality Tig.
The famous Tig.
World famous.
He's trying to be good, kind of. Okay. So here's a direct quote from Joe Biden about. There's my face right there. It's more important that the cat's on it's YouTube. Right. People want to see cats.
Okay.
This might be the thing that keeps us here.
Direct quote. And I'm not quite sure. I think it's maybe about the vaccine or the virus.
Who knows?
We don't know.
At this point, I'm not sure what it's about. But this is a direct quote from the President of the United States. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where or why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved. That's underway too. Direct.
Yes, folks. Most votes in history. 81 million people voted for that.
Was he trying to?
81 million.
Was he trying to read?
I don't know what he was trying to do.
Couldn't do it, or
we don't know.
No idea. And it's a transcript. You can find this in a transcript from the White House.
Yeah, I know.
I know. But they were trying to do the 25th Amendment to Trump. Yeah, because they thought he was mentally unfit.
Oh, well, that's what they said anyway.
Right.
In the sense that they think all Republicans are mentally unfit.
But that's just his stutter. Sure. How dare you make fun of his stutter? It's a speech impediment.
That's his stutter. It's not his damn stutter.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, let's get bitch set me up Marion Barry here. Yes, I know he's since deceased, but at least he was.
Is Marion Barry dead?
I'm pretty sure he passed away.
Was it a drug overdose?
No, I don't believe so. I
No?
believe his
Okay.
time was just up. But you know,
Oh.
I mean, again, this is the party that mocked Dan Quayle for misspelling potato, which was,
Potato.
it was a cue card, and he just read it off the cue card. And yes, he should have been like, that's wrong, but that was the greatest old potato, ha ha ha. That was on Saturday Night Live for years. George Bush,
Yeah.
pronounced nuclear is what? Nuclear or whatever it was. And that was
nuclear.
nuclear. And that was the greatest
Nuclear.
affront to humanity ever. Look at Chimpy McHitler.
Yeah.
Biden gets up there and he's going, my hair is made of chocolate pudding. Taste it, taste it. And they're all like, what an orator. I mean, at this point, I don't think we can make enough helicopters. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Well, Dr. Jill was on the cover of Vogue for being
So beautiful.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, and Hunter Biden is now listing his occupation as artist.
Oh.
Yep. Blowing paint through a straw. I mean, I guess Hunter's got a lot of experience with substances and straws. Just saying.
Jay. True.
What a scam, though. I mean, you gotta hand it. You gotta hand it to Hunter, man. That dude is milking it for all he can. I mean, he is getting away with murder almost.
I wonder how much of that money he's keeping.
Almost none of it, of course.
Well, 10% for the big guy, right?
Well, yeah, but how much is going to
maybe
Dr. Jill?
Yeah, 10%.
Yeah,
10% there. Think of all the people that have to get paid off out of that slush fund.
I'm sure it's a foundation. Like, I don't know, the Clinton Foundation.
Yes.
But
what a mess.
He stays out of jail. He continues his lifestyle of smoking crack and what was it he did? Was he smoked part of the carpet or something? Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese. I mean, shit. One painting will keep him in Parmesan cheese for a year. But again, oh my God, Jenna Bush drank underage.
It's funny how the transparent fig leaf they're doing for this painting thing. It's like, oh, well, he won't know who buys them.
He's an artist.
Sure. Yeah, please.
It's
like
what it's supposed to be. What anonymous? The buyers is supposed to be anonymous to Hunter Biden or just to us?
No, to us.
Which is what I assume.
To us. Yeah.
Hunter Biden doesn't give a rat's ass who it is, but maybe it's the same lab in China that Fauci was sending money to. Oh,
yeah.
But
as far as Hunter Biden's art, I don't think that it exists outside the ones that have been photographed for magazines.
No, they're selling.
I don't think it exists.
He's selling a blank piece of paper and calling it art. And somebody's giving him $500,000 for it.
Yeah,
right.
That's the scam. Oh yeah, I sold him art. What are you gonna? Who are you to deny that it's art?
Meanwhile, somewhere the ghost of John Gotti is going, fuck!
It's ridiculous. He didn't even have to hire somebody to write a book for him. He was just,
Right. They didn't have to didn't even have to pretend.
I'm gonna stamp my name on some piece of paper and sell it for $500,000.
No.
And go
Didn't Hunter Biden just have a book too?
Yeah, but
Hunter Biden just had a book.
Did he?
He's
did he?
Yes.
Hey.
Oh, okay. So he's doing both.
It's called, I can't remember. Beautiful.
He's doing the book scam and the art scam.
Yeah.
Now,
absolutely.
If we actually had media in this country, I would be very curious to see if his child support payments to the stripper have ever been caught up with.
Oh, please.
She
knows better than to raise her anything. She's keeping quiet out of fear.
Beautiful Things by Hunter Biden.
The fuck does he know about that?
Hey,
Beautiful
man, to
things.
some people, a crack pipe is beautiful.
A memoir.
Oh, please, a memoir.
A memoir.
What
How I
the
tagged my dead
what the
brother's
f-
wife.
what the fuck does he have
Ugh,
to
I
to write
know.
a
Yeah.
memoir
Come
about?
on.
Getting kicked out of the Navy for doing coke.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah. That's yeah.
That's
I
the,
mean,
you know,
what massive accomplishments has he done that deserve a memoir? For God's sakes.
Well, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think we ordered it for the library.
Well, don't just wait.
Brita,
wait.
you
Yes,
like Hunter's paintings? Those books might not actually exist.
that's true. They might
Well,
just.
What did
I don't know. They might have been printed, but already like mulched by now.
I saw
They-
a giant
they-
stack of Michelle
they-
Obama books at BJ's.
They might not have even been printed.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was a brief. My manager, who is manager of the reference department, has been on multiple maternity leaves in the past few years. And she usually orders all the books. But while she's gone, I usually take over her duties. And I have the opportunity to order the books for library. But it's kind of like I've caught on. And I've always tried to be kind of neutral, politically and neutral as far as like social issues, because I understand that there are library patrons that want, whatever, and it's my job to provide it as a public library. Okay, great. But I have kind of caught on to the whole political memoir thing. And I really will not order them unless people start requesting them.
Right.
And what do you know? Nobody requests them. Nobody cares.
and the ones y'all did buy, probably nobody ever checked out.
Yeah.
Because they're not actually.
We get usually like popular books. We will order multiple copies. And then in a couple years, like a year and a half, 2 years, you have to discard them all because they have never gone out. Hello.
Like I can understand a presidential memoir. I can understand that.
Sure.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like the president's kid.
Yeah.
Or
Mario Cuomo or
Chris Cuomo, Fredo. So I can say that because I'm Italian.
Don't call me Fredo.
I'm not stupid. I'm smart. That's from The Godfather. But yeah, I love that. Well, that's the Italian equivalent of the N-word. I'm like, no.
Is it?
No. They tried to claim that. But is it yet? No.
What is the Italian equivalent of the N-word?
There isn't one.
Pick one. Dago, Wop, Gibby.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
Oh.
How come Uncle Ben gone? Aunt Jemima gone. Land O'Lakes girl gone. Chef Boyardee, perfectly fine. A bippity boppity.
I want a ringtone of Jay saying bippity boppity.
A bippity boppity. There you go.
That's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, exactly. It's a spicy meatball.
That'd be awesome.
But again, we don't care. Because,
well,
if it upsets us, we'll have you whacked. So just ask Paulie Walnuts.
You got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Exactly. And the Lucky Charms leprechaun. I'm sure he's next.
Oh God, the Lucky Charms.
The Boston Celtics. Look at their mascot.
Is that do they have a mascot? I don't know.
The fighting leprechaun.
Oh, another fighting leprechaun.
Yep.
Well, it's what the Irish are known for.
That's right. Getting drunk and fighting, of course. The Italians are known for being in the mafia or plumbers. See Brothers, Mario.
Concrete.
Jay.
Yeah.
Concrete.
Yeah.
Around here, it's concrete.
Concrete and garbage.
Concrete's a big one. Yep. And waste. It's waste management.
Well,
thank you.
Well, the Romans invented concrete, so
that's right.
That's true.
And
aqueducts.
Yep.
Water, plumbing.
Yeah, there you go.
Every city, every nation in the world has what do they call it? Shit. Never mind.
I
They
don't
say
know.
the memory's
Where
the
were you
second
going
thing to
with
go,
that?
Alan.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going.
What's the first thing to go?
Anyway.
I forgot.
I have a funny story from San Francisco,
Okay.
the land
Oh,
of
no.
funny stories.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Yeah, I read the article.
They're putting out trash cans that cost $20,000.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this the same place where the homeless people are shitting in the streets?
Well, yes. So here's the thing. So the latest trash cans they bought were 2018. But apparently those need to be replaced.
They what?
I don't know.
Okay.
The old trash
After
cans.
3 years.
The old trash cans cost like $2,000 a piece.
They're trash cans.
Yeah. I'm like, I can go to, I mean, I understand that the public trash cans have to be somewhat more robust than the trash can you buy at Home Depot.
Well, I wonder too, aren't they also like rooted to the ground? Like, aren't they like?
Well,
embedded in
yeah, so because
concrete?
some people won't steal them.
So, well, what I'm getting at is like $2,000 if it includes digging up, pouring a foundation. That's
yeah,
not.
I can
as bad.
understand that. But the $20,000.
Yeah, $20,000. It had better electrocute.
Well, if you
all
want
these
to
people.
throw away money,
Public Public Works now they make the point that these are test trash cans. So it's like the Air Force's, $10,000 hammer.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Their Public Works is asking supervisors to prove spending $500,000 to $800,000 to cover design costs for 15 trash cans, 10 garbage carts with wheels that go inside the stationary can, management.
there you go.
Somebody's
go.
nephew needs a job.
Yeah.
And contingency money for unknown costs. Now, I bet you the actual trash cans are going to be like $1,000 to $2,000.
Yep.
Because how hard is it to make, come on. The other $500,000 is, payoffs and kickbacks and bribes and, somebody's nephew that needs a job and, all this other crap that goes on in a big city full of Democrats. I just think it's funny that all the problems San Francisco has, they think the number one thing they need to do is replace all the fucking trash cans that they just spent money on in 2018.
San Francisco, where the streets run brown.
Yeah.
Streets are paved in brown.
But that's the thing. You got this homeless population with literally, I mean, you've seen pictures of San Francisco. There's trash everywhere. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
The city's crawling in trash.
Maybe they have vacuums.
Do they think putting trash cans out? The homeless people will throw crap down on the street right next to a trash can and not put it in the trash can. Or they'll take the trash can and they'll light a fire in it. So anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Of all the problems San Francisco has, I would submit that spending money on trash cans is probably
that's probably very much like Hunter Biden's art.
Yes.
That's a way of transferring money from the taxpayers of San Francisco to somebody else.
That's exactly
and not somebody who's making fucking trash cans.
That's exactly what it is.
But again, it was, the army bought $400 toilet seat.
Yeah.
I mean, Alan, right? You were alive in the 80s. You remember just endless exposés on the $600 hammer and blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden,
gold toilet seats.
San Francisco is pissing away $20,000 on trash barrels, and people are like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Well, and what they never told you is you can't go and buy a toilet seat at Home Depot and put it in a bomber.
Right.
you just can't. It doesn't work that way. So,
and part of the $400 hammer was that you had to put it out to bid, and you had to announce it, and you had to promote it, and you had to put it up in however many
right.
different publications and this and that. And when you amortize, when they finally won it and paid it and whatnot, well, they got all that money back by charging.
Yeah.
The winning bid covered all of that expense. And
Right.
but it was much easier to blame Reagan.
Sure, because Reagan was an evil Republican.
Well, and like the latest, according to Twitter, the big news is Bob Dole is all Trumped out. I'm like, these people, they're going to be dragging Trump out 2 years from now. I guarantee it. Bob Dole. I'm like, did anyone ever see Bob Dole and Donald Trump in the same county together?
What's Bob Dole got to do with anything?
Thank you.
He's been irrelevant for decades.
24 years.
Yeah.
Well, 25 years at this point. He's now his political career is now an antique.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, I'm like, fuck, Bob Dole was old when he ran in 96.
Yeah.
Right. I just had the thought Bob Dole's
like,
still alive.
Yeah, is he still alive?
Bob Dole.
Wow.
Bob Dole refers to himself in the third person. Bob Dole. All right, kids, go ask your parents about that. Still, I mean, he was old. The man served in World War II.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's where his
again, Bob Dole's still alive?
Yeah, I'm like, goddamn, son.
Wow.
I think the World War II vet that smoked cigars and drank bourbon lived to be well into his hundreds, and he shot a Thompson machine gun on his 100th birthday. God bless you, sir. But yeah, that's the big thing. They got to find somebody to keep Trump back in the news, because you have to have snowball sightings, or else Trotsky can't crack down on the people. See, we have to keep putting the boogeyman out. I'm throwing out my Animal Farm, which, Brita, by the way, wonderful idea. Books.
What?
Buy books. Hardcover books.
Yeah,
they can't take them away from you. Ironically, I have The Moon is a Harsh Mistress right on top of Fahrenheit 451 on my bookcase above me.
Okay.
And those, I would clearly put the two of them up as actual hard copy books. They cannot take them from you.
I have ebooks nobody can take away from me. I don't see the point.
You think?
No, I know.
Okay. They don't they don't have to be like
right.
hard copies. They have to be,
but don't have them in your Kindle.
Right.
Because they can.
Because they've done that before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And if I bought them from Amazon, that might be an issue.
Right. So, I mean, pretty much anything by Mark Twain, anything by Dr. Seuss. Because remember, let's not forget that in the year that Dr. Seuss was canceled, Cardi B's WAP was the song of the year. Way to go, American public. But that is oh God. We have a separate piece.
There's a lot of books that I think about. I mean, because I'm sorry, I have cat hair in my mouth.
Because you have a cat.
Our library actually owns those copies of the Dr. Seuss books that were canceled. And there was a big discussion at work about what do we do with these books? Do we keep them on the shelf? Do we hide them? Do we let them circulate? And we have pulled them from the shelf temporarily. Although, I don't know if they're ever going to go back on the shelf, And I had a young lady come up to my desk, and she needed her summer reading book, and it was 1984, and it struck me. I was like, "Oh, they're still reading that book in school," and I thought, "For how much longer? For how much longer are they going to be reading that book?"
Yeah,
we've got 1984. You got Brave New World.
Well, another few years, Brita, they won't be able to read anyway, so who cares?
You're not wrong. In 1984, ironically, was right next to Lord of the Flies.
There you go.
So I apparently
Yeah,
have big on ironic.
I just
book
think like
placement.
there's a whole lot of books that are
Yep.
vulnerable like that throughout the years have been really like classics that people have read and through literature learned about the human condition, about history, and about how people are wired politically. Because
And
there's so much truth in literature, but
different periods in
it will.
time.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've also got Native Son. It's an awful, it details an awful period in our history. And by
Right.
saying, oh, well, there's bad words in this book, we shouldn't have people read it, you lose that connection. You
Right.
you eliminate this unpleasantness that I think
Right.
needs to be pulled out periodically so we can see
Absolutely.
we are better now.
Yeah.
We are not perfect.
Yeah.
We still have work to do.
Well, Jay, and you just gave the reason why they want to cover that up. Because we can't be the worst ever right now if the past was
true.
actually worst.
That's true.
Worse.
Well,
that is a good point.
But it's also this whole kind of special snowflake wokeness thing where I know that certain school systems have banned To Kill a Mockingbird because teachers and administrators are saying that it makes the students uncomfortable.
That's the whole point.
That's the point.
It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. If it doesn't, there's something wrong with you.
You're supposed to feel a thing, that's the point. And it's terrifying to me that they're trying to like take that out of people, like that sort of like emotional response to art,
What I can't get over is that it wasn't all that long ago that it was Jerry Falwell and the moral majority want to burn books and they want to take them out of schools and this was horrible and how can those evil Republicans, and it's just without a fucking word, it's completely flipped 180 degrees where it's the Democrats, the liberals saying that book has to be banned because it hurts people's feelings. That book has to be banned because it has a bad word in it. Mark Twain has to be banned because he uses the N-word. Again,
Tipper Gore. Tipper Gore.
Yeah. Yep. Parents Music Research Council. You did not hear that at all in 2000. That was completely and utterly nope. Even when he was masticating her face off on stage. The kiss?
I know. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah. Kids, go ask your parents again. But that's an excellent point, Alan. It's if you remind people that it was worse, that we have made progress, that things are better, that it's it is no longer that just because you happen to a black man happened to be in the same house where a white woman was killed, that he was automatically assumed to have raped and murdered her. That's Native Son. If you're not familiar with the novel,
right.
For example, and while it was fiction, it was uncomfortably close to what might have happened.
What I guarantee you, it happened a lot.
Right.
Come on.
To say that what's happening now, that requiring ID is as bad as that, it's ridiculous on an institutional scale.
January 6th was worse than the Civil War.
Yep. Yeah, worse than September 11th.
Mr. Ken Burns, the guy that did the Civil War documentary himself, said that January 6th was worse than the Civil War. He said tension. He said things now are worse than they were in the Civil War.
Oh my God.
And that's how by canceling history, that's how you get this.
Yep.
Because people that don't have a clue are like, wow, things are awful now.
But I'm going to say this. That is a prime example of liberalism is a mental disorder.
It is.
Yeah.
They are completely devoid of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is end justifies means.
Yep.
Yeah. And history began this morning.
The Ken Burns thing, I had not heard that before, and I'm literally shocked at that. I mean, I know he's a liberal, namby-pamby guy, but for him to like have gone on and made this entire Civil War series, I mean, he's famous for the fucking Civil War series, right?
Yeah.
And for him to say that, it's shocking. Tyga,
I have the Fox News article right here. He actually tweeted this.
Oh my God.
No, he said it. He said he was on with Brian Williams.
Was Brian Williams? Wait a minute. Brian Williams was what? The Chopper? Was that the? Which one was he? Was he?
I think
claimed to be.
It could be. Anyway, so Ken Burns was like the conversions of all these viruses, the side effects of the misinformation and the paranoia and the lying and the voter suppression and the rewriting of our history are saying we're not interested in facts. We're not interested in the truth. You know, those factors, along with the Republicans who said he wanted to run against the government. This is the most fraught time in history for our republic.
Oh my God. Wow.
Well, but voter suppression.
Wow.
Well, yeah, there was voter suppression. You had all of big tech, social media running complete.
Well, that's the right kind of voter suppression.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's you got Ken Burns, Mr. Civil War documentary.
Yeah.
Trying to make the claim that things are worse now than they've ever been in the history of the U.S., which is laughably false.
Right. It's ridiculous and it's offensive. Saying that is actually offensive. Franklin Delano Roosevelt rounded up 2 million Japanese citizens? No, not 2 million.
Oh yeah.
He rounded up Japanese citizens. You know, American citizens of Japanese descent, i.e., could have been, if it had been Italians instead of Japanese, my grandparents would have been in a concentration camp in the United States.
Absolutely. Of course. Yes. Mussolini and fascism and stuff.
Just remember, as you know, a history lesson, children, 1964 Civil Rights Act, which the Democrats unanimously voted against. Unanimously voted against. Prior to the Civil Rights Act, it was completely legal to discriminate against minority, not just African Americans, but anybody, Jews, Asians, anybody, for any reason. You didn't like them, whatever. Discriminate your heart out.
Yep. Well,
totally legal.
Yeah.
And the Democrats wanted to keep it that way.
Segregation now, segregation forever. Which
Right.
Republican said that? Somebody remind me?
No, that wasn't a Republican.
Oh, but they all switched parties. They all switched parties.
No, they didn't, Jake.
Oh my God.
They didn't. Yeah.
No.
Go back and actually look at it. No,
They didn't. No, they didn't.
I want to mention one thing about January 6th. Apparently, they've started, finally, 6 months later, they started the court cases.
Right.
And the guy carrying the Trump flag was just sentenced to 8 months in jail.
Yeah.
Twitter exploded because, oh my God, and they pulled out one guy. He served longer for stealing a loaf of bread. You know, and it's one of those 3 strikes cases, you know, or whatever.
Right.
But this is the biggest injustice. You only got 8 months, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? Why don't you compare that to, I don't know, the Black Lives Matter Antifa rioters who burned the fucking Portland courthouse? How much time
that got bailed out by the vice president
the same day?
And then their charges all dropped.
Released on their own recognizance.
Yeah. And then the charges all dropped.
Yeah. And the charges dropped.
That's the key point.
You know, it's like, let's compare apples to apples. It's more like apples to another fruit as, you know, apples to, I don't know, stationery. You know, this dude that they keep bringing up, and it was, you know, it was one of the trending things, whatever. It was, you know, he stole a loaf of, it was one of those stories where that was the 3rd strike, and that's what put him in jail for 10 years. And, you know, which it's bullshit to begin with, because we shouldn't need a 3 strikes law. You should actually have jail time mean jail time.
Sure.
But anyway, that's a complete and utter digression. But
Can't
it
have
has
that, Jay.
absolutely nothing to do with the case of the dude in the Capitol who got 8 months, which, again, that was probably overkill. The dude was
Yeah.
trespassing. Trespassing. You got 8 months in jail.
All he did was walk around with a flag.
Now,
Like, that's all he did.
how can you trespass
In the people's house.
in a building you own?
Yeah.
Well, and you were let into.
Right. And
Yeah.
some animals are more
With an
equal
open
than
door.
others.
Right.
But the big thing was it was only 8 months. I go, really? What, forever? He should be jailed forever? Let's lock him up in the Bastille. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Because what we really need right now is political prisoners.
Yes.
Well,
But do we have time for show and tell? Do we have show and tell?
sure, I have one.
If you want to show, you
Frida
can
has a
show.
show and tell.
I do.
Okay. Show.
Go ahead. Oh, Jay, do you happen to?
I do. I have.
Well, then you go first.
This is just for Alan, okay? This is one of the first knives I ever bought. And it's a Bowie knife.
Ooh.
A Bowie
nice.
I came across it in my man cave in the basement. And I was like, oh, look at this. I can even get the...
That's a knife.
Yeah.
That's a knife. Yeah, this
Look
is...
at shiny.
This was purchased at United Cutlery in the... What the hell is Bucks Run Mall in Newington, New Hampshire, sometime in the 1980s.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
It's funny the things you remember.
What do you use it for, Jay?
Absolutely nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a damn thing. It has been sitting in a box filled with knives in my basement, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was looking for. I forget what I was even looking for.
That's probably a pretty decent knife too, though. I mean, it's not a $500 knife, but still, it's probably a pretty good one.
Oh, believe me, it was.
United Cutlery makes decent stuff.
It was shiny. Shiny. That's a leather sheath.
Shiny, holds an edge. What do you need?
Yeah, exactly.
That's important.
Strikes fear into the heart of every British person in the world.
Well, apparently so do screwdrivers and scissors.
Yeah.
Watch out, Prince.
Ooh.
Oh,
ooh.
Jay.
They have points. They have points.
Nasty things.
You should go drop that in an amnesty box real quick.
People are putting spoons in the amnesty boxes now.
Uh-oh, we lost
Spoons. Crap. Is he going to come back?
I don't know. We'll find out.
My shirt.
I know.
It's awesome.
They are great shirts. Go buy one. $14, everybody.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap as far as merch goes. Alan gets all the profits.
There are no profits.
Not at all. Like not even like
no.
10 cents or anything?
I specifically adjust the price because Teespring lets you set. There's a minimum that's their cost that they pass on to you, and then they'll be like when you create the shirt, they'll suggest some price. Right? It's like I think it was like $32 or something like that. I just laughed. I said, "No, that's ridiculous. Nobody's gonna buy a $32 shirt."
No,
I wouldn't do it. So I crank it down to where because it tells you how much because I guess people can't do math anymore. So they show you how much you make on the side, and I crank it down to like 0. So we don't make we don't even make a penny off of these shirts. We make nothing.
I think we just want our own shirts.
Yeah, I do, and they're cheap.
I just want to make my own shirt.
And with shipping and handling and tax, it's under $15. I don't know, I don't know anybody that can get you a shirt that's. There's Jay. Jay's back.
Jay coming back?
I'm back. Sorry.
Hey, Jay.
Howdy.
What you doing?
Did I miss the show and tell?
No.
I was just roaming around seeing if I could get a better connection.
We're just talking about the shirts.
Ah.
Yeah, we're talking about how soft they are.
Oh, well, I left the door
I would actually buy this whatever
who cares?
It is. It's so soft. Anyway,
actually I can do this. This is my investing advice.
Yeah.
That's a good solid advice.
Alan says Bitcoin, I say precious metals. So
you can do both.
I figure I've been sitting here the entire show and all you can see is invest.
Invest. Yeah. Precious metals. Lead, brass.
Copper.
I don't remember if I talked about my Opinel yet. Have I talked about this?
I think you did.
Okay. I think I did too. Like early on, I think I talked about it. Anyway, it's like, the classic French pocket knife, and it's very simple, and it's like won awards for design, blah, blah, blah. It opens up. Very nice. And all the locking mechanism is this little twisty thing, right? You twist it and so
it works great.
It works great. It is a great knife. It stays sharp. It's lovely. It's, okay. Anyway, this is not the show and tell. The lead up to my second Opinel. And they have, if you look on their website, they have like a whole line of, they have this knife, but like in a bunch of different sizes, and then they have a line of like specialty knives for different uses. And for the longest time, I've been looking on Amazon at Opinels, and they have this gardening set, which is kind of expensive, but I have it on my wish list. But the thing I really wanted was this.
Is that a sheep's foot?
I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of like a little mini scythe, right? So like if you're and I do use it, I use this exclusively in the garden. I don't use it for anything else. And I use it like a lot in my garden. And I can't recommend it enough. It is really, really a fantastic little knife for the garden. You can like trim things, you can deadhead plants, you can cut off your little zucchinis, you can, whatever. I use it all the time in the garden, and it is really reasonably priced. And it has the same like little locking mechanism where you just turn this little thing and that's it. And it fits in your pocket and it's super handy. Love it. So I'll post the link in the
very
Sqrpt report page.
And Alan,
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
That while England has basically made any sharp bit of metal illegal, in France, knives are still completely legal. And
I don't know. Are
they?
They
are. No, they are. I looked it up.
Oh.
What about narwhal tusks?
So they're
I would like one of those.
They're legal, and the rule is the law is in France, any knife of any blade length with a fixed blade or a folding knife with a locking mechanism. So that means a locking blade knife falls into an unregulated category D weapon. Unregulated category D weapons may be legally purchased if you're over 18 years old, but may not be carried on one's person unless carried for a good reason. For example, as part of tools of one's profession. So, but blades that don't lock apparently are completely legal. But
good reason, because people need shanking.
Right. Well, so the thing is it's just interesting that while the French knife laws are on par with a lot of knife laws in the less enlightened states in the U.S. In England, it's like any bit of sharp metal is completely illegal now.
Or not even sharp. There's spoons.
Right. I mean, but it's just interesting that
he's got a fork.
The up and L made me think of that because it's the quintessential French knife. Try, and everybody knows in France, the farmers are like the power block, right? The French farmers, and they're the ones that get together and have riots and protests and all that kind of stuff.
The yellow vests.
And try separating a French farmer from his Opinel and see how far you get. I bet you it's not successful at all.
So the Opinel is to France what the Mora is to, what is it?
The Philippines?
No. The Mora knife it's Finnish. Is it Finnish or Danish? I'm not.
Oh,
It's
you
one of
get
the
me.
Scandinavian countries, and I can't put my finger on it right now. But it's one of the countries in the Arctic Circle. That's not Canada.
Sweden.
Sweden. Okay. Well, there I was
Sweden.
completely wrong. But
Which
it is Scandinavian. So
what's the Philippine knife?
you're thinking the
still a big
Moro,
spoon.
which is not a knife.
No, that's not the knife. There's a balasong. No.
That's
No.
butterfly.
No, there's the bolo.
That's a real skinny tie.
No, there's a. Here we go.
Or
Oh God, you're gonna
balls
make me
on
look it up.
Traditional.
I'm sure there is, because it's something that is there. What is it? It's some sort of dumpling, knife, and there's one other thing that is like every single culture has their version.
Yeah.
And beer.
Gunong.
Yeah.
Gunong
Yeah.
is a knife from the
Right.
Philippines.
Yeah. Whatever.
And
You know, like
Okay.
the Gurkhas have their kukri. You know,
Right.
the Texans have their buoy.
Yeah.
You know, just you can go down the list. You know,
Oh yeah.
every
there you go.
every culture's
You're
got
welcome.
their own. Thank you, Brita.
Yep.
Librarian.
It would have bothered Alan for like minutes
It would have.
until he forgot about it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Show and tell done.
You don't have one, Alan?
Wait, let me see.
Hold on.
It's got to
I'm
see if
gonna
there's a
find
cat.
something. There's a cat.
He just walks away from the microphone. Okay.
Anyway,
Oh, I sent Alan a package.
he said, ah,
Did you get the package? I sent Alan a package. Is this going to be the show and tell?
Maybe.
Is this going to be the show and tell?
Is he going to
now?
open it with his open L?
No.
I'm going to have to look up. I'm going to have to look up that Blade profile, because I know there's.
Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah. I don't just put the one thing.
You didn't
This
fill
is-
it with confetti?
Poof! Like the
Giant glitter bomb.
yeah. This is the key thing right here.
Oh my God.
The grand
Did
unveiling.
the vacuum bag work?
Yeah, works fine.
Get bagged. No,
that a hat?
you have to put it on your head.
Oh, you have to. You have
To put it on your head. It's a
Dun,
cat
dun,
bed.
dun, 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 dun.
It's
dun,
a cat
dun,
bed.
dun,
It's a cat bed shaped like a shark.
We're gonna need a bigger podcast.
So
Yes.
so this
Absolutely.
is funny. So my daughter actually works for Aldi, and the shark bed. You know, they have these shark beds and all that kind of stuff. And she was here last weekend, and I made the comment. I made that, oh, you're going to need a bigger boat, and she was like totally clueless. And I was like, oh, you've never seen Jaws. So we watched Jaws. She was horrified.
Because of all the smoking.
No, because of the shark. It was scary. It's a scary movie. But
I've
I
never
thought
seen Jaws.
I thought it was great.
I would
uh,
imagine Cleveland is pretty shark free. Yeah,
yeah.
We're shark free.
you know, it's just
But,
there's not a lot to worry about.
I remember I saw that movie when it came out, and my mother took me to see it, of all people. And then later, like a few months later, we went to Hawaii for vacation.
Oh no. Oh,
least it wasn't-
shit.
At least it wasn't Martha's Vineyard.
So I was all like, water. So
Oh no.
anyway, I guess that's my show and tell. The shark bed. I'll
Shark
if
bed.
when the cat gets in it, I'll
That's awesome.
Post pictures.
I'll put a picture on
Yes.
Facebook.
So which cat is going to be devoured by the shark?
Probably Ponzi. He's the one that likes the beds the most.
Yeah.
But you never know. Could be any of them. They're cats. They like to go in things. So what I'm hoping for is the classic photo that you see a lot of people are posting is the cats laying like half in and half out, like the shark's actually eating it, which is really awesome.
I'm hoping for that too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
next week?
You guys are
Next
both
week.
cat people. Riddle me
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You must have seen the pictures of the bed that has the little cat maze under it.
Oh,
No?
no.
Terrible idea.
Oh, okay. I
No.
was like, that strikes me as being like, to paraphrase Jurassic Park, the worst idea in the history of bad ideas.
Yeah.
Really, really
Pretty
bad
much.
Because
idea.
isn't that going to lead to a lot of
Yes. Like you don't
at
get enough
3
of that
o'clock in the
already.
morning? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It
Terrible.
was clearly designed
I
by
guessed
somebody
wrong.
who's never spent any time with a cat.
I mean, I'm sure it's fun for the cats, but
Oh, I'm sure it's a blast. But here's the
Yeah.
thing. First off, you can't get in there to get the cat out. You basically have to disassemble the
no.
bed.
You have to like take the bed apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it will keep you awake all night long with the thumping and
The
the
only way
banging
it
and the
could work
biting.
is if like there's like little doors that you put on during the night, like to cover up the
Yeah.
entrance.
Pinball flippers. Doink, doink, doink.
But I just, man, that's a really terrible. I mean, a bed they can go under is already bad enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For example, we were awakened one Sunday morning. This was a few years ago by lots of growling and like skittering under the bed. Una had a mouse and she had brought it up from the basement and she brought it up 2 flights of stairs under the bed.
as they do.
So, as they do. And so, yeah, to have like, let's imagine the maze under the bed with a cat and a mouse. And oh my God.
A week later,
So,
you'd be going, what's that smell?
Oh God.
What's that
What is
smell?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Time to take the bed apart again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if it was on like
We actually
hydraulics.
just bought a new bed. We bought a new bed, and one of my dreams has always been to have a bed with storage underneath, like drawers, like a piece of furniture, drawers. And so we bought a new bed, and it's like being made by Amish people in Oregon or something. Anyway, the cats are going to be very disappointed because they won't be able to go under the bed anymore.
Bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus for me.
Storage and no cats under the bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Anywho, next week, are we all here next week?
I am. What's next week?
Me too.
The
I
29th.
don't know. I'm just
I'll be
asking.
here.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, I'm good through the end of next month, I think.
What happens at the end of next month? You turn into a pumpkin?
I think I'm going Dallas. No, not Dallas. Southwest of San Antonio.
What in the world for? There's nothing there
There's an event.
except the border. Are you gonna go?
Oh God, Jay's going to the border.
Are you gonna go shoot illegal aliens crossing the border?
No, that would be terrible. That would be my least favorite thing to do. No, there's some event. I forget. I remember looking it up, and I remember it being like a ways from San Antonio, just because I've been to San Antonio a bunch of times. So it was
San Antonio's a nice city.
The Riverwalk is beautiful.
Well, the rest of the city's
At
pretty
least
good too.
at least it was oh boy, like 25,
Yeah.
24, 23 years. Over
still
20
is.
years ago.
And you know what else San Antonio doesn't have?
Wow.
A homeless problem.
Austin?
Yeah, it doesn't have Austin.
Yeah. But yes.
All right.
It's the second to last week. Anyway.
Well, we'll be back next week. Bye.
Yeah.
everybody.
Have a great week.
All right, night, y'all.